Hi everybody, my name is Matthew Morawski, and you are watching the second episode of my new Director's Commentary series. This one featuring a video that I shot back in 2024 called Abandoned Mini Golf Course and Lonely Beaches in Western Ontario. I was just waiting for that to pop up. I couldn't quite remember the name. It's a bit of a mouthful. But anyway, in this video, I'm going to try speaking a little bit more softly than I did in the previous one. So we'll have to see whatever sounds better. But I find it relaxing to talk like this, and hopefully you find it relaxing to listen to. But anyway, enough of that. Let's just jump right into the video. So you just saw that fence. This was shot at a provincial park. Now that fence isn't for any sort of abandoned building or anything like that. What it's actually for is a nuclear power plant right off in the distance. And if you look really closely there, it's hard to see in this shot. But if you were to look straight, you would notice the top of it over there. So if you had any desire to hop that fence, or you found an easy way around it, I would not recommend passing it. So now you will see, this is a different provincial park. This was in Point Farms. I would love to know what was on that sign. But anyway, this was a nice little trail that you had to cross that bridge to get to. But that's not what you're here to see. You're here to see the abandoned mini golf course, which you're going to see right now. And what's crazy to look at in this video is that you won't be able to recognize that this was a mini golf course. For whatever reason, they absolutely tore this place up. It is unrecognizable. And what's interesting is that, most places I go to, I would say about 95% of places I go to are just random buildings that I have never seen before. This place was an exception because just 2 years before I filmed this video, I played mini golf here. And that wasn't the only time I played mini golf here. I stopped here multiple times. They also sold ice cream and had a convenience store, which you will see. And you can see these photos that my mom took when we went. And you can probably see why I used the word unrecognizable, because if you just drove by here, you would have absolutely no idea that this was ever a mini golf course. It is totally stripped, totally barren, and kind of just plain sad. There really is a major difference between visiting a random location that you just find on the side of the road that you have no idea what the history is. You have no idea what kind of memories were made there. It's just a random old building to you. That is a very different experience than going back to a location that you actually remember fondly and actually remember making memories at. And then coming back here and then seeing it in this state. It's a bit of a tough pill to swallow. Especially considering that when I came here, I wasn't planning on filming a video. And that is simply because I did not know that this place was vacant. So when I got here, it was a bit of a shocker. And you will see this rooster named Rockstar, which I do remember seeing when I was playing mini golf here. He just kind of walked around and chilled. Obviously, a lot of people took pictures of him and gave him a lot of attention. I wonder where he is now. Hopefully he is alive and well, but, well, who knows. And you'll see over here, this is the convenience store part. And yeah, like I said, they sold ice cream. They sold like all kinds of things you'd expect in a convenience store. And they still left this sign right here on, so you can actually see how much everything was. I also love that there's just 3 random toilets sitting right there. Although they did leave a few books, it looks like. It's pretty rare to find an abandoned place where they totally strip everything. There's always something left behind. Including that very indicating sign, which really should say, closed for good. This little attachment to the building, I imagine, is where they lived. And I'm sure they come by once in a while. The place is not totally falling apart, but I don't think they stop by too often. You can also see that it's very unlikely they have been receiving much mail as of late. And there's another look at this sign, and there's also another sign you will see, which was actually a Coca-Cola ad, but my goodness, it was very, very fitting right there. When I saw that, I knew I had to get a shot, and it made for the perfect transition right to this beach, which was located near Godridge. And look, I don't have to tell you, you can tell yourself, it was a very beautiful night. I loved the blue hue in the clouds. It almost kind of reminded me of La La Land. You see right there with those lights in the background too. Maybe that's just me. But, you know, that scene when Ryan Gosling just walks on the pier by himself, that was kind of the vibe it gave me. Maybe that's something you would just kind of have to be in person to actually understand, but regardless, it made for a very fitting end to this video. Which, to mention that, we are reaching the end of the video, so that's the time where I would like to thank you for watching this and listening to me. And I know this one was a little bit shorter, but it was still one I wanted to make. I have already thought of so many different videos that I could talk about. There's a few videos where there's a few short ones, I would just combine them into one, or just add them onto a longer one. Although, we will get there when we get there. But as for now, I'll see you in the next one.